Alright, I'm here to tell you guys a little story. About 2 years ago this started. I was of course on TikTok, as you do. I'd be scrolling and I started seeing these fitness videos which actually inspired me to start working out a bit more, because I started about 3-ish years ago and that was also through TikTok. But now I'm getting these very optimal videos, as you may say, of like very specific advice, which is great and everything, like it's really great knowledge, but you become obsessive. And this is what started the whole perfectionism mindset for me, is just these fitness videos on TikTok. You'd see JPG coaching, Ryan Dewars, people like that, not like the Jeff Nippards or anything. Those are pretty simple, but the videos that I was watching were very like specific advice on like exact movements, exact way to do it, every single cue you have to know. And although they don't have bad intentions, you like just end up taking it as bad intentions of like, okay, this has got to be perfect. My routine's got to have this amount of things for my lats or my back, this amount of things for this part of the bicep, or the hammer curl, or the long head, whatever. Like all that stuff is just so confusing for someone that's just trying to get consistent. And that's what I was trying to do. I've been going to the gym for like 2 or 3 years now, and I worked out before at home, but I've been going to the gym for like a good 2 to 3 years and I'm still not consistent. Like I've only recently started being consistent when I changed this up. You have to start with the basics first. Don't worry about having this exact muscle, the readouts or whatever, right? Don't do that first. Or at least if you're trying to get consistent, don't like go so specific for that. If you enjoy it, great, like that's amazing. That's the best, the best possible like outcome is you enjoy those optimal lifts, and like you're going to the gym consistently. It's great for muscle, of course, that's great. For me, I find it very hard to be consistent with doing that. So I would say pick the few exercises you need for back, biceps, whatever, but just stick with the basics. Add drop sets, supersets, whatever, like as long as it's safe, do it. If it's fun and safe, that is the best thing you could do. Don't do what's best for the muscle and not fun, because then you're not going to be consistent. Like certainly don't sacrifice your form at all. That is key. We all know that technique is the key, then intensity and everything. But don't sacrifice that. But you can't be doing these optimal lifts. Every single thing is optimize the form cues. Like I used to have written down in a book when I take to the gym or on my phone of like, I think it was in a book all the time, where it's like exact form cues to follow, and it's like that's great. You gotta learn the forms, the basics first, but I used to have so specific things to like focus on each exercise of like bloody 7 cues of like, okay, do this, do that, remember this, okay, you gotta do this when that moves or whatever. Like so many confusing things in my mind. I'm just trying to do the damn exercise. Like half the time I'm not even thinking about my intensity, because I'm just so worried about, okay, the exact thing of this. When my form is great, of course my form is great, but it's like I wasn't consistent. It doesn't matter unless you're consistent. In a weird way, if you do what feels good, you will make more progress. Certainly like all these things that you could do that are optimal for your lats, or like, the right pulling motion, all this, shoulder flexion, everything, right? It's like, that will make more muscle if you're consistent with training hard. Whereas, if you're consistent training hard with not as good a program, most likely that will be more muscle in the end that you build. Because with the optimal program, at least for me, right, you're not consistent with it, you're struggling, like you're not doing the lifts, you're too worried about this, you're lacking intensity because you're too worried about the pitch perfect form. I find that you'll actually build more muscle when you just do these basic lifts that are fun for you. In a very weird way, I actually think that this is just my own ideology of it, is that when you train less optimal, in a sense, like good form, good technique, everything, sets and reps, but in terms of very, very specifically, if you don't do that, you actually build your testosterone, your discipline, and you're way more focused in the gym, which is just an added benefit. And I see this because it's like, if you're so worried about something, the whole like set or whatever, you're losing focus as the seconds go by. And then I believe that you increase testosterone and discipline because you're having shorter rest periods, or you're doing drop sets and supersets, which some reason aren't optimal, whatever. Like I saw the knowledge in the studies and whatever, but it's like if you have shorter rest periods, if you do more reps or less reps or whatever it is, drop sets, supersets, trisets, like if you do all of that, you'll actually build more discipline, more testosterone, because you're competing with yourself. It's very, very challenging. It's way harder than any other like regular workout where you're doing, one set, taking like 5 minute rest break because it's better for muscle growth and everything. It's like, just do it quickly, do it hard and safe. That's all it needs. I know it sounds kind of weird, but like, literally just find what you like to do and that's fun, and just do that for every session. Every session you have back, do the same exercises if they're fun for you. That's what I find. Like, I don't find many exercises fun, so I'll just repeat them in my like pull days or push days or leg days. Just repeat the exercise if you find it fun, and then just overload on that. Don't change it like all the time. Just stick to it. I struggled with this so much because of this perfectionism mindset that I got from these not stupid, but like from the idea that I got from these optimal lifters online, especially on TikTok. It's like, just do what feels good. I can't preach it enough. Thank you.